What's going on? What's going on? Good afternoon or good evening. I hope you're watching it in the evening time. And we got a great show for you tonight. Welcome to After Dark with Shawn Cornelius. And tonight's show is going to feature a young man who's very inspirational, who's doing his thing. I'm inspired by him, so you guys got to be inspired by him. But first of all, let's thank BronxNet for tuning us in and bringing us out to you and letting us do our thing. You can catch me over on BronxNet.org. You can check Channel 68. Make sure that you're watching the show, the right show. And I know I'm in a different location, but it's a more relaxed in the living room type of location. So because this is a relaxed type of show, we're gonna have some fun with this one like we always do. But this show, I think you guys are gonna learn something. Yeah, I think you're gonna learn something. So let me tell you who I got on the show tonight. Tonight's show, I got a young man who's been very inspirational. Now I haven't heard him preach per se, do a long sermon, but some of the other gentlemen that have been on his show have heard him, and they have nothing but great things to say about him. So I can't wait till I check him out to see what he's got, and I'm sure he's got a lot going on. So we spoke a little bit earlier, and he didn't want me to call him a young pastor and all those other kind of things going on, but I guess if you heard him preach, you call him a pastor. So, but I'm just going to call him who he is. So if you guys are ready, I'm going to bring out the guest. Now, thank you for watching After Dark with Shawn Cornelius. Please welcome Mr. Nicholas Lee to the show. What's
Yes.
good, bro?
What's going on? How are you, brother Sean? Thank you. Thank you.
I'm doing, I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm honored to be on this show. I appreciate you and the invitation.
Oh, anytime, man. I had to get you on because my conversation with all of the other brothers, like Brother Al has been on, and Tyreek, and KL, and Pastor, they've heard you do your thing. I'm so looking forward to hearing you do, what you do
Yes,
best, and that's praise God.
I'm honored. To God be the glory.
Now, this is how the show usually goes. Since this is your first time on the show, obviously, um, you basically just relax, kick back, do what you do, and tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about how old you are, where you come from, how you got so into God, because I heard it was at a young age, and that's a good thing. And we're just gonna have fun with it, man. We're gonna enjoy the show and have a good time. Can you do that for me for less than an hour?
Absolutely. I can. I can. I can.
All right, cool.
Mhm.
So basically, why don't you just tell the folks a little bit about yourself? Let them know who you are, and then I'll do my job. It's not really a job, but I'll do my job. How was that?
I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Born and raised from Brooklyn, New York. I matriculated in Brooklyn High School for Law and Tech. I went to Buffalo State College. I have a bachelor's of arts degree in political science, minor in legal studies. I'm pursuing law school. Uh, I work at Worsenberg and Estes. It's a real estate law firm. And that's just the personal job side of it. As Brother Sean mentioned, I am a preacher as well, and
Yes.
I've born and raised in the church, born and raised at the Metropolitan Baptist Church. I told the brothers on the line that my baby shower was in the basement of that church, so I am a church baby, and I've been preaching or doing sermonettes since I was 10. And, during the pandemic is when I told my pastor, the Reverend Eddie Karim Jr., it's time for me to officially accept my call. I think so much was going on, and I really felt God speaking to me even more. So I said, you know what? I'll take it a little more serious, and to God be the glory from where I'm at now, because literally my ministry has bombed almost, blew up in such a huge way, and I'm just thankful and grateful.
Great.
Um,
And how old are you now? Did you say how old you
Oh
were?
no, I did it. I'm 23 years old.
So 13
23.
years. You started when you were 10. When I was
Mhm.
10, let's see, what was I doing? I was uh, I was just playing around and doing things, playing basketball, baseball, playing sports and things, and all that. Um, you were preaching. You were. What church were you at? Where were you?
So at first I was at the Metropolitan Baptist Church. That's where the sermonettes kind of began, really, younger than 10. But I did a little more stuff at United Baptist Church. Where a lot of us that were from Metro left because of the youth pastor, which became the pastor of the United Baptist Church. He went over there, so some of us went over there too. And under him, I always got small opportunities as a kid to, do a little sermon, they say. So, I mean, I was just like every other kid. And then my main interest was law, though. So I must tell you, it wasn't even preaching.
Right.
I had an obsession with the law, politics, presidents from a really young age. So the preaching was literally like the side thing almost. But even at a young age, it was pretty insane when I think about it now. But I'm just blessed and glad. It's pretty crazy though.
Yeah. Well, listen, man. I've heard that you're a dynamic. You're a dynamic speaker.
Thank you.
I've heard that you have that it. And somebody mentioned the other night that you know that you're special when you have it. I call it the it factor.
I
And they
like
say
that.
that you have that it factor, and you've known that since you were little. So now you're talking about, man, you're talking about 13 years. You're
Yeah.
23, and what is it about God that makes you? Because you smile when you talk about him, and you know you're in a good spirit when you talk about him. And I've talked to you, and over the past month or so,
Mhm.
what is it about the Lord that has you like that?
I think just the ability, not only to know God's word, but to see Him do things that's literally impossible. I've seen people get healed right in front of my eyes through prayer. Praying to God. I've literally, I haven't struggled per se, but I know many people that have struggled but prayed and now they're prospering. So I think that, and another thing too is I love the Bible. I mean, I told myself, and I told God, I said, if I'm going to preach, I have to know what I'm preaching. So I begin to Bible. I mean, I'm talking about sometimes I would even go into the Hebrew and Greek and Aramaic, readings, versions of it, the original version of the Bible. That's how much I love God. And I think because of that relationship I've always had with Him, and, seeing that He's able to do things, it's literally like the beautiful and wonderness of God. It literally amazed me. That's why I think it strengthened my relationship with God, not only just to be a Christian, but to walk like a Christian, not only to just have the title of preacher and pastor, but seeing God at His word and
Right,
then being what you said the other night, having a testimony and
right.
being able to share with others that just shows the greatness about God. And I have no other choice but to smile. And you said something interesting because when I was in high school, people said, I've never seen Nicholas upset. I never seen Nick upset. He's always had a smile on his face. And I would tell them that's because God is good. God has been good. And because literally He's done great things for me. Like I mentioned, I was a 14-year-old intern in Washington, D.C. at the Superior Courthouse. And I preached on this 2 days ago. All the other interns were 26 to 30 years old. I was 14 years old. That's the power of God asking that you want something and then receiving it by prayer.
Right.
That's the beautiful and wondrous of God. I can't help but smile. He's amazing. He's
It's a
amazing.
beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing just to hear you talk about the Lord in that fashion. What does your family think? What is your family situation? What is that? Or how did that play a part in what you do now? Because I know obviously when you have your interior where you live has a lot to do with what you do when you're young. So how did that play a part in what you do?
Well, interesting enough, it's mainly my grandmother. She's a reverend. She's a preacher at the Metropolitan Baptist Church as well. Been there for 30 something years or something crazy like that. She was a huge influence on me. But when I was younger, my mom, my aunt, and my uncle kind of, forced the law thing because they saw I had an interest. I don't want to say forced, but they pursued that route. So when I began preaching seriously in 2020, I know they were a little bit skeptical, but after hearing it, they were like, "Okay, yeah, you're fine. This is your thing. This is what you can do." So I'm glad it worked out because at first they were like, "Just focus on the law," and I
Right.
kind of resented that. I resented that, and I felt pressured almost to not pursue preaching. I'm telling you, I didn't want to do it. I said, I don't want to be like any of these pastors. I go to church, pay my tithes, and pray. I kind of didn't want to go that route, but it's like God set it up in a way where He kind of made me do it, and I'm glad He did. So at first it was hard. Yeah, at first it was hard
Okay.
because although they are Christians too,
Yeah.
they wanted me to be career oriented, which I understand, for being a young black man in America, they wanted me
Sure.
to just
Sure.
dominate my field. But, as they listen to me preach, I guess I sound pretty okay to them because now they just, they're fine with it. So I'm glad now that they're fine with it.
Oh, that works out, man. Well, that's cool because sometimes it takes us a while to find our niche and
Absolutely.
what we want to do, and then sometimes it's like there's a lot of young folks who find out what they want to do when they're younger, and you found your niche and you found something that you're good at and something that you appreciate,
Absolutely.
and it just rolls into where you are now at your age. But you've had like 13 years of doing these things,
Mhm.
so you're so far ahead of a lot of other folks. Um, when did you get your first real gig? I won't say it's paid, but when was your first real? Because speaking about the Lord and doing what the Lord has for you, it's automatic when you do it. So
Mhm.
when did you feel like, okay, this is I'm in this route. This is what I'm doing right now.
I think it's a couple. It's a couple I have, but I'll share the most recent one. So we have quarterly sessions of the New York Missionary Baptist Association. And I remember I got the call from my pastor, who's the moderator, that he wanted me to be one of the preachers a week before the service. He wanted me to do the Friday night. And, he said, they all talk. It's people that discuss who comes to preach, from my understanding. So he said, my name came up. And I'm like, you know, my name came up, because they have some great, great preachers. I'm never going to get to preach there until I'm like, maybe 27 or 28. So I got the call to do that. And it was amazing for me because as I was preparing for it, I was nervous because I don't get nervous. I promise you. It's weird. I don't get nervous. I used to have to, talk myself into nervousness, but I didn't get nervous. I was nervous for that, for preparing for it. But when I got there, I wasn't nervous at all. I mean, it was an amazing, amazing service.
Right, right.
It was big. It was a big deal. A lot of pastors were there. Some prominent people were there. That prominent pastors that I always looked up to.
Okay.
And I preached. I do a little hip hop in my sermons too. They probably didn't tell you, but I always incorporate music because I love music. So I put music, and my topic was "Walk It Like I Talk It." And that is a song by the Migos. Rest in peace, Takeoff, by the way. But that was the title of my song. And here I am, a young kid with a hip hop song in his title. So I was daring, literally, and the theme was Dare to Dream, Willing to Work. So I kind of dared to step out there and not change who I am in this big stage. For
Right,
me, it was big
right.
stage for me. So that was that was like the wow, like this is the biggest gig yet. So yeah, that was amazing. That was
Just
amazing.
the way that you sit and talk about it, and you can see that it brings a joy to you, is one of the fantastic things that's supposed to happen. And
Definitely.
that's a beautiful situation. Um, um, Doing this for the time period that you're doing it for. Have you done it just for one church, or have you done for several churches?
I've done preaching at a lot of churches. Actually, I sat down, I think last month, and I started to think about how many
Okay.
it was. I think I was around 17 churches in the
Right.
last year. I think it was about 17 churches, a couple platforms too, like a Zoom. On a Zoom, I preached on a Zoom.
Okay.
I preached on a
Right.
Facebook Live. So those were, it's kind of crazy because officially I've only been a minister for 11 months. So I've only been, official for 11 months. So as my official rate, it's 17, 17 times. And I think that's quite a lot, because I'm not a pastor. I'm not preaching every Sunday.
Well,
These are people inviting me, so
yeah,
it's
well,
crazy.
you told me, you said don't call you pastor, but you're moving on in that direction, and you're moving to be a pastor, which is very humble of you to say. Don't call you, until obviously you get there and want to do the things that you're supposed to do. But you're out there preaching, and you're out there doing talks, and you're out there spreading the word, and that's a
Absolutely.
beautiful thing. How hard is it, man, being your age, to be out there knowing that obviously you have these situations and these other people who are not there yet? Because at 23, I don't know, I was getting out of college and all these other little things, and but you have people who, or do you migrate around folks obviously of the church, young people your age?
I think I do a little bit of both. I think what's helped me is I'm sort of intergenerational, if that makes sense. Like I said, being 14 years old around 26 to 30-year olds as interns, but the judge was 68 at the time too, and I was able to learn in my first year. I did that for 5 summers, by the way. So I was able to learn how to communicate with other generations. I was able to learn how to sort of, be respectful and mindful. I learned how to be in the room and feel like I'm in the conversation, because sometimes people are just in the room but they aren't saying a word. So I learned how to be comfortable around all type of ages. So really, it doesn't hurt me. It really helps me, when I am doing a lot of outreach too. I'm
Right,
really big on outreach. I love outreach, giving back. It's one of my favorite things. It doesn't scare me to approach someone that may be my age or double my age or triple my age, because I got comfortable learning how to be around, some difficult people that were older than me. It helped me, to be able to communicate. So it's literally, worked out amazingly for me.
right. So
It
you
has.
pretty much you learn from the age of 10 to now, so many different things that sometimes it takes us. When we're in our teen years, we learn, and then we get in our 20s, we learn. But you've had to pretty much got that education in your 10 to 23s,
Mm.
because of what you do and how you do it and where you do it and travel. Um, Man, that's amazing. What is your ultimate goal? What would you like to do? Um, because I can't say it's preaching, because you never know. You're 23 right now,
Mhm.
but you have a love of preaching, and motivational speaking is involved in that. Speaking is involved with
Absolutely.
that. What would you like to do with someone?
I think that's a really good question, because I was thinking about that myself. I think that I want to do, social justice preaching. That is always, which is what I'm kind of trying to do now. I would love to teach. Maybe not be a teacher professor, maybe on the collegiate level. I really think that'll be, really good for me. And the law thing is cool, but I think I'm really losing the passion for it, because of, I think I got what I needed from it, really. So I think, pursuing law school, amazing, but also going to seminary. I think that's something I want to do as well. That's where I can see
Right,
myself, so I can also have even more credentials, to be able to go further. But I also want to be literally that example, not only an example, but I want to help. So I was thinking about, having a sort of school fair, HBCU fair, for, our college or high school students, in Brooklyn. That's an idea that popped in my head.
now you know I graduated from an
Oh
HBCU.
wow! Oh wow! Which one?
Yeah,
Shaw?
I
You went to
graduated.
Shaw?
I went to Shaw University.
Wow!
Graduated from Shaw University. So there's a special shout out, since you shout out
Oh
the
yeah, go
HBCU.
ahead.
But that's a fantastic. Go ahead, please continue.
Mhm. Yeah, that's one thing I want to do. I mean, my church, we have, I think, two people going to college. So I'm trying to develop a plan literally by myself. I was sitting down, one day, and I said I need to help them to make sure they have everything, they need for school applications, application fees, make sure they have the funds too. So I think education is really important to me. So I think that will be, something I will do in my future as well. Because I had people that literally did the application process for me, the whole thing. My aunt and my mom, they did the whole application process. I didn't have to worry about it at all. I just had to write. I had to write the personal statement. So that was amazing. That was amazing for me. So if I can pass that on to someone else, I think that's my main focus,
Yeah.
and also preserving blackness and proud. I'm really big on that. I wasn't always like that. I must say, because I just didn't know.
Okay.
But I think that I want to affirm that, not only than preaching, but as a people on social media in person. So I think those are the things that I look forward to doing, and maybe pastoring. I mean, I feel like I have a call to pastor. I think I'm a pretty good leader,
I would say so.
and
I
the
would say
things that
so.
I'm doing.
You got guys on our when we do our Zoom, and you got guys in their 80s, in their 60s, in their 50s, 40s, 30s wanting to follow you. You do
Mhm.
pretty good at leading.
And listen, Shawn. I don't even like talking about myself, man. So I'm really, really just kind of laid back. I try to let the work that I do speak for me. I think that was
Right.
what a
Sure.
songwriter said. So
Sure.
it's honestly very humbling to have, uh, all of you guys. Literally, it's very humbling to be on this platform. I mean, I take nothing for granted, because I know you can be here and then all the way here like
Sure.
this.
Sure.
So it's a humbling experience. Literally, it's very humbling. It's very
Yeah, I
humbling.
mean, listen, man. You gotta. What I've learned to do now, as I've gotten to this age, is take what's given to you.
Absolutely,
You have to take what's given to you, and if a blessing is given to you in a way where you can appreciate it, you take it and you appreciate it, and then
absolutely.
you take that and you try to do better with it if that's what you can do. But
Hmm.
you take it and enjoy it. You know what I mean? Because you do something positive for other folks.
Hmm.
When people listen to you give your word, obviously you're sharing a word that might be motivating somebody who needs to hear just what you're
Absolutely,
saying. And you
absolutely.
and it doesn't matter if it's coming from someone in their 20s or someone in
Hmm.
their teens
True.
or someone who's 10 years old. Because I was watching YouTube one night, and this kid, he had to be like maybe 10 years old. You're
Hmm.
about 10 years old or younger. He might have been older, but he
Hmm.
was preaching.
Wow.
Uh, and just him preaching, and you can tell he's going to be dynamic when he gets older. But the things he was saying, the conversation he was having, the things he was talking about, that older people talk about,
Hmm.
you never know who needs what, especially now times.
Yep.
You have no idea what's going on in someone's life where all they need is they hear what you're saying on a
Exactly.
couple of seconds, and you're like, you know what? Wow, let me check this brother out. So you're
That's
doing the
true.
proper thing, man. But
Thank
but sitting here watching you sit behind that desk with those folders and the stuff that it looks like your office. It looks like
you. Yeah.
that you look like you belong in that space doing what you're doing, man. But
Hmm.
I know that your God is your leader, and I know that you like to you pray with people, you talk about things. What are some of the topics that you talk about when you give your speeches? I know when I used to do, and I still do, I would pick certain things out. How do you go about picking out your topics?
That's a good question. Usually, it is a combination of things. Sometimes churches have, special days or themes. So I would kind of pray and ask God, or if a scripture is literally burning on the inside of me, I'm gonna preach it. Interesting enough, like you've probably heard the song by a person named Ice Spice. I'm gonna give you an example of how I may come up with something, because right now it is just in me. Ice Spice has a song, and
Okay.
in a line it says, "You thought I was feeling you," and then it goes provocative, right? It goes a
Okay.
whole other direction, right? So in my mind, when I heard that, recently, like this week, I heard, "You thought I was feeling you." I thought about it's a chapter in the Bible, Genesis, in the book of Genesis, where Joseph is after being thrown in a pit, sold into slavery, he's working in Potiphar's house. And basically, Potiphar's wife tries to make an advance at him. And Joseph is a godly man, although he had experienced, all this pain, by his brothers. And now he's working, he's literally enslaved almost. He's just trying to do his job, and she's trying to make an advance at him. And in his mind, it's like, you thought I was feeling you, like I like stuff like that. That's how I come up with stuff, because I hear something with music, or I'm walking somewhere, and it's like God gives me revelation. I don't go looking. It's like I get revelation, like reminded of a story in the Bible. So I think that really helps me also in the preparation process. I am like a narrative expositor preacher. So
Oh, hold on now. You're using big words.
sorry, I don't mean.
I don't have my dictionary with me. Now it's
I know you know, Darren. I know you know, Darren. I heard about
you got to be better than that, brother. You got to be better than that. Oh, go
I
ahead.
I'll break it down a little. So I like stories from a person's point of view, or actually sometimes I like to literally, break down the text. I love doing that. You'll hear that in most of, if not all of my preaching. I love breaking down the text, and sometimes I might go to an original language. So, for example, I'm trying to think of a good one. So, I did a sermon on John 3:16. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in Him shall not perish but have everlasting life. And that word "love" in the Greek context has four meanings, literally. Four meanings, and the one we all know about is agape. That's the agape is the one that he's talking about in that text. But there are three other ways. I mentioned that, and some of the after the service, some of the older saints, more seasoned saints said, "Man, you preaching like you my age. You just brought me back." So making sure I'm also including every generation in my preaching helps with preparation.
Right.
Because I want to be intentional to everybody. That's why sometimes I use, current songs or current events, or the thing that's popping. I use it and give it a Christian context, because the church needs to stay relevant. So my preparation in preparing for that always has to focus on being relevant, being intergenerational, and being intentional. So I heard the Bishop Noel Jones say this: your intent determines your content. So
Mm,
my intentions is to show God in the text,
right.
while remaining relevant, so that can ensure the content that's going to come out. So that's a little bit of the
You sound like
preparation
you're getting ready to
process.
preach right now. That's why I'm going to be quiet and sit back and just let you just go on and take on over. Do
Oh
what you do.
man.
No, but that's wonderful, man. That's a wonderful way to get your talks, and to be able, because when you do have folks of all ages interested in what you're talking about, then you're touching everybody. That means you got
Absolutely.
one string that's grabbing 60s, 70s,
Hmm.
20s, 30s, the
Absolutely.
teens, and that's what you want to do.
Absolutely.
You want to include. That's what the Bible does. The Bible, it
Definitely.
makes it relevant to everyone, and everybody
Exactly.
can understand what was going on, and
Hmm.
and you move about um, talking to everybody, and everybody understands. The people that are listening, and you have a gift for that,
Thank you.
and you definitely have a gift, and that's a good way to learn, man. Um, wow. We're going to take a break in a few seconds, well, in a little while, but I
All
wanted
right.
to find out really quickly, in about a minute each, what would you tell a young man and a young woman that's interested in following your footsteps to go about getting into the word and preaching and doing their thing? So you could first do a young lady, take about a minute, and a young man about a minute.
First thing I would tell a young lady is to remain focused. I would tell the same thing to the young man, but for her to remain focused, and it's okay not to do what the crowd is doing. It's okay not to be, putting on all this type of dance moves and stuff on social media. It's okay to be boring. I would encourage her to do that. It's okay to, stay in the word. It's okay to just stay at home. It's okay to be labeled as what we call day room, because every time you stay and study the Word of God for yourself, you receive new revelation. So that I think that's what I would tell the young lady. For the young man, I would tell him the same thing, and also I would tell him to be careful, because it's so easy to literally, fall by the wayside. It's so easy to teeter totter, as one say, because I'm not perfect. I've been through a few things as well. I don't have a perfect story. I never lived a perfect life. So I think those are just a few things that I would, try to tell them and encourage them. It's so similar. I don't think I can really divide it, but those are the few things I think I'll tell
Sure,
both
sure.
the young
No,
men
that's
and women.
fantastic. So do me a favor, man, before we take a break. Please let everyone know from age 10 to 70 how to get in touch with you. If they hear something that they like and they want to get in conversation with you and communicate with you, how do they get in touch with you and something that you'll respond to immediately?
Definitely, you can find me on Facebook. My Facebook is Nick Lee. It's Nick Lee. I'm best responsive on there. I'm trying to think. You can take my email down. My email is nlee2017 at the symbol bklawtech.com. You can reach me there, as well, and I'm very responsive on those platforms.
Okay, cool, man. Well, we're going to do this for you like we do everybody else. We're going to let you take a break.
All
You
right.
can breathe, you can woosah, you can pray really quickly, and sit back. We're gonna go do some commercials when we'll come back with Nicholas Lee on After Dark with Shawn Cornelius. You're not gonna go anywhere, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm be right here.
All right, we'll be right back.
All right.
Paul,
Yeah, Angel.
can I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course.
I love you. Do you love me?
What's your definition of love?
It was just yesterday that you walked away from me.
All right, welcome back to After Dark with Shawn Cornelius, and I'm sitting here talking to my brother now. I can definitely call him that.
Definitely.
My brother Nicholas Lee. And Nicholas, are you okay? You
Yeah,
all
I'm
right?
good. I'm good. I'm good. Survived.
You survived. All right, man. We're about to go into our next segment, and this one might be a little bit tougher for you. We'll see. We never know. But
Okay.
do me a favor. Say abracadabra for me.
Abracadabra.
Oh
I like
man.
that. I like that.
So far, you got that right. You got that good. That's no problem. So what we're gonna do? Welcome to the Love Zone, and we're gonna talk about some things that are going to be involved with people with relationships, love, romance, and have a little fun, so you can sit back and relax a little
All
bit
right.
now. You might have to think a little bit, but at 23, maybe you shouldn't. We'll see what
Okay.
happens.
All
Are
right.
you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's go. What is love to you? What
Hmm.
is love in a definition about a minute and a half?
Oh, a long definition. Love. They said love is what love does. So I think love can be an action a little bit, but I think love is unconditional. I think love is surviving both ups and downs. I think there are many ways to show love, which is interesting because I know there are other words to define that, but I think love love will make you do anything. If you really love someone, you're going to do anything possible to please them. Um, Love will drive you crazy too. I think those are the definitions of
Sure will.
love.
All right. These are your answers, so you don't have to, try to get them right in the book. But these are what you feel about these questions. What is your definition of romance?
Romance is, I guess, the action of love. I think you can be romantic in different ways, in terms of gifts, in terms of meeting the needs sort of your partner. Um, Romance could be, one thing that I did, I'll say that was really romantic, was I put my girlfriend came to my college, and I put like candles all in, trying to be different, trying to be romantic, candles for her, and roses everywhere. I think that was romance. So I think that's romantic.
Okay. Yeah, that's very romantic. That's very romantic. Candles
I
are always
tried.
well. Okay, well, since you're talking about that, that's close. What's give us an example of or your favorite date?
My favorite date. I'm trying to think of a really good one.
Now, I want you to talk because I don't know who you're involved with, but they might be
Y-
watching the
no, yeah,
show.
she
And
definitely will. I have to mention something with
involve them
her.
in this date, I guess.
So I think so. One of my favorite dates is in Buffalo. I took her to this rooftop restaurant, and it shows the city. You can see the beautiful city of Buffalo. I think that was like the most romantic date for her. We got to talk about her. I think that the being on the rooftop, it was kind of late, so the sky was a little dim. The ambiance of the restaurant was amazing. Being on a rooftop, I think that was like a really romantic date.
Sounds good. No, that sounds fantastic. All right. So let's say you're walking down the street before you, when you have that date or whatever, and you happen just to kick a can off to the side of the street, make sure it's not in anybody's way. Out of the can comes me. I'm a genie, but I only have one wish. I'm working my way up to the three wishes.
Hmm.
What is your one wish that involves love that you have?
An understanding partner. An understanding partner, because I think that being with me is difficult. I can tell. I know it is because I'm so busy. So I think an understanding partner that understands the big picture. The other times she doesn't want to hear that. She doesn't want to hear that I have to prepare a sermon or I have homework to do. She doesn't want to hear that stuff.
Mm.
So an understanding partner would be a big wish. Matter of fact, it's a wish right now. To have an understanding partner.
Well, we'll make it that so that love is inside that understanding, a
Yeah.
loving, understanding partner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mesh that in. I try to stick to the one word, but
right. Okay, what makes Nicholas Lee so unique? What makes him unique?
I think my experiences make me unique. Uh, I think my experiences and what I was exposed to make me so different because, some people are just focused on the right now. They aren't big picture. I'm big picture. I'm thinking 10, 20 years ahead, not only financially, but, about happiness. That's been a main focus of mine right now. So I think I'm different in that aspect because the things that I was exposed to and experienced gives me this different outlook on life. In terms of traveling and all these things that I'm doing at a very young age, I think that makes me unique in a sense, and I'm grateful for those things, but it's also a good and bad thing. So I can see I'm very optimistic and pessimistic at the same time. And I think I'm unique in that way too, because some people are just so optimistic or so pessimistic. They don't have balance because I am balanced, in that way. And I think that makes me unique. I told Gabriella, my partner, I told her I'll probably be a good detective or investigator because I'm looking at everything, from a different point of view.
Right,
Uh,
right.
so I think that
Okay,
that makes me unique.
that works it out. All right. So on a scale of 1 to 10, since you're so unique, and now you can have beyond 10, but I just put 1 to 10. I let people go 1 to 10, but some people have gone 2,000. Where would you rate yourself in your category of love? And love is the whole picture, not just physical love. That
Mhm.
means the whole picture, 1 through 10.
I would say 100. I'm gonna take it. I'm not gonna go as far as 1,000, but I'm gonna say 100 out of 10. Because when I love hard, and I'm not. I'm really not emotional. In fact, my family says it all the time. Oh my gosh, we've raised a robot almost. So when I love somebody, they're gonna know I love them, because I'm not emotional and I'm not usually vulnerable. I started to work on that myself. I learned to be vulnerable with your partner. It's okay to be vulnerable with them. So I would say 100 out of 10, literally, because I'm learning how to be vulnerable and
Yes,
feeling comfortable with that person.
sure, sure.
So 100 out of 10 for sure. 100 out of 10.
Okay, all right, cool. Give me three things that are attractive to you. Three things that are attractive to you.
um, I think honesty would be one. Someone that's honest. I think someone that can be an ear. And the last thing would have to be career oriented. I believe in not only the relationship but the partnership in a relationship. So that it's not always about me, but it's about you, because you matter too. So I think career oriented is a priority, and I think God I have that partner, uh, who's career oriented as well in the medical field. She's pursuing the medical field, and I thank God for that. So career oriented for sure. Someone that can be honest with my partner. We knew each other before we started dating. So I knew her. Well, she knew me when I was going crazy in the streets or whatever. Not in a sense of me, being crazy on people, but with girls,
Right, right, right.
if I could be transparent,
You can be
so
as transparent as you
yeah.
need to be anything.
So she knew a lot of that, a lot when I was, having fun, because I was attractive, but not only because of how I looked. I think I look crazy, but because my mind, and a lot of females were attracted to my mind. So I kind of took advantage of that in high school and in college. The first 2 years of college, I should say. So I think that I need to have an honest partner, so we can be transparent because she knows me, I know her.
Right.
Career oriented for sure.
Okay.
I forgot the last thing I said. But
I'm
um,
so go ahead. I'm so busy listening to
yeah, career oriented, honesty, and an ear. Yeah,
you.
and an
Yeah.
ear.
Okay.
Someone that I can listen to and they can listen to me. Yeah, I
All
think
right.
those are the three. Those are the three.
So okay, you gave me the three positive things. Give me three negative things. Things that are unattractive to you. Things that you just don't. You can't. You just rather not deal with.
Oh man, three. Wow, I would say
Because I know there's a
loud.
bunch of them. There should be a bunch of them,
Yeah, it is. That's
but
that's
it's
why I'm
hard to
saying
put
three.
them in three. But
Oh,
let's have to give
I
me.
can't stand a loud female. Oh man, I can't. I can't stand it. I think that's one thing that's just insane. I'm not trying to be all toxic masculinity here, but um, I just don't like it loud. I don't like the loud yelling, and I don't like that. So loud would be one. Another would be what I really don't like. Is provocative clothing. I'm not trying to tell you what to wear, but that's just something that I don't like. I'm not a
Right,
fan
right.
of revealing. That revealing that
Sure,
stuff.
sure.
I'm not telling you wear jeans and skirts that go to your ankles, but let's save some for me. So
Right,
I
right.
think that would be the second one. The third one would be laziness. I don't like that. I can't have a lazy partner. I can't have someone just, every single day just, I'm just gonna wait till he come home. No, I want you to be on the grind too,
You gotta be moving
as
like
well.
you
Gotta be moving, yeah, so
on
we
some
can
kind of level.
do that. Because then if not, then you're gonna think he's never home. He's he can never do it. He's never here. He's not paying me enough attention. But if you're doing not as much, you don't have to be as much.
Right.
But if it's something, you'll be more understanding. So
Totally
I
get it.
think those are the main top three if I have to wind it down.
All right, I got you, man. Very, very good. Give me 5 things about the world that you love. Now, 5 things about the world, and they don't have to be so deep. It could be as simple as flowers, But give me some 5 things that you love about the world.
5 things. First off, what I love about the world is opportunity. Um, I love the opportunity because although we do live by a world based on age, you can still do anything you want to almost, except when it comes to buying certain things at stores, or getting a drink. You got to be a certain age for that. But I love the opportunity that the world, opens up for everybody. I love that. Another thing I do love, I'll go to food because I love pizza. Oh, I love pizza. So that's another thing I love. I love about the world. It's really it's kind of crazy, just to
No,
say that.
no,
But
yeah.
pizza, I love pizza. I love the history of the world. Literally, I love the history of the world. I studied a lot of religions as well, so the history of the world is literally amazing for me. Another thing I love is music. Oh man, music is amazing because I listen to all types of genres of music. And I can't really sing. I'm not the best singer, even though I try.
But it's an escape.
Yeah, it definitely, literally, I listen to a lot of Nina Simone. Is one of my favorite artists ever. And so I love her music. It's kind of Black liberation too, so I love that as well about music. And I'm trying to think of one more thing that I love about the world. I love people. I'm gonna say that I love people. That's gonna be my last one. Whether they do me wrong or help me, because I'm always learning.
Right.
I'm always learning from them. So I think those are the 5 that are like that I love. I love about the world. Yeah.
All right. Very good. Very good. Okay. Here's a trick question that people have said it's a trick question. I don't think it's a trick question, but whatever works. Respect, honesty, and trust. Got to take one out. Got to take one out.
Respect.
Respect, honesty, and trust, and carry on with your relationship.
Wow.
Which one? Which one can you take out?
That is
And
hard.
yeah,
That's real hard. Because the beautiful thing, I think, though, matter of fact, I think it's easy. I'll take respect out. Respect, that could go.
you take respect out now.
Yeah,
Why would you take respect out?
because I feel like honesty and trust are like partners almost. I don't want a dishonest partner.
Right.
Because it's kind of hard. Like, hey, did you cheat on this? Did you cheat on me with this person? I'm going to that conversation. It's like I need to know the truth, and then I need to trust you that if that happens, hopefully not, you won't do it again. So I think that's important. With the disrespect part, you want to yell at me and curse at me, whatever, but we're gonna come back together because we're so honest with each other and we trust each other that we're gonna learn from it. I think that's the best tool to keep and throw out the
You,
respect.
you, you can twist it and turn it any way you want to. You can make it work for yourself. So whatever works for you, works for you.
I think that'll do.
Okay, I'll take it, man. That's how it works for you.
Yeah, Aretha Franklin won't like that, but
Yeah, that one was
all right.
that out the window with her. Um, love or money? Which would you rather have? Love
Love,
or money?
love, love, absolutely. Because, I was sort of raised on that, get to the money, get the money, even in investments. But now I'm even learning so quickly that money is fleeting. I use money now as a point as opportunity. So even within my investments, that I invest in a little bit. I got a little bit of money. I don't think it's important. Even going to the Bible says the love of money is, the root of all evil.
Sure.
But I definitely would rather have love. But I only say that because how money has blessed me.
Right.
So I'm not kind of running for that. That's not my MO anymore. I'm not going to the highest bidder anymore. I'm going, where the love is at, where I can, rest, be easy, and have that assurance, a reassurance. So I'm going with the love on that one for sure.
Got you. Now, how long before you told someone, it could be a present, obviously, or whomever, that you love them? Since you used the word love in this last situation, how long was it before you told somebody that you loved them?
Well, for the last person, it was very easy because we were friends for so long. And in high school, we didn't go to the same high school, but I was trying to talk to her while I was in high school, and she rejected me because she's like, you messing around with all these girls. I don't want to talk to you. So I literally told her I loved her. I think probably like a month after we started dating. I told her, yeah, I love you. I could see my life with you. And that's because she got me though. Like, we understood each other. So I think that's probably the earliest I ever said it. Now, the longest I ever said it was probably like 6 months.
Okay.
One of my first relationships in college.
6 months.
Yeah, 6 months
I'm
because
learning a lot about you in this hour.
yeah,
I didn't know.
yeah, for 6 months because it started off with that girl real quick. I'll tell you, people, my friends was telling me you can't get her. You won't be able to get her. She's untouchable. She's saving herself for marriage, and I was like, whatever. So I started trying to talk to the girl, trying to pursue her just to prove a point, and it became frustrating. And then over time, I began to have feelings for her, but I didn't, love her until like, 6 months in, and it took me about a year to try to even get her.
Right.
So, yeah, that was the longest.
All right. So listen, look. As you see where we are now, we're moving into our favorites, which means we're at the very end. We're towards the end of our show, and these you can only answer what you can only. You just give me the answer. You don't have to go into any to make it easy on you.
Okay.
You don't have to go into it. Just give me your answer so that people can learn a little bit more about Nicholas Lee. Just a little bit more because we learned a lot in that last segment. No, you're good. All right. So, are you ready for this?
I am. I'm ready.
Favorite food?
Pizza.
Favorite book?
Oof. Michelle Alexander's The New Jim Crow. Mass incarceration, yeah.
I would think that you would say the Bible.
That's one of them. I want to be real too. I want to be transparent because it's in my heart. The Bible says, "Thy word have I hid in my heart, that I might not sin against it." So that's in my heart. The word is in my heart, but
it's no problem. Whatever these are truthful. These want to be truthful. We already know that you're a Bible-based brother.
Definitely.
Favorite movie?
Ooh, Liar Liar with Jim Carrey.
Not favorite flower.
Ooh, I think the sunflower, because its ability to produce.
I was going to ask you why. But...
Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. You say be quiet. I just can't.
No, it's fine. That's cool. You can do what you do. Your favorite, and I'm not sure if you drink alcohol or whatever, but your favorite drink.
Wine is good for the stomach. That's what I read. Paul said it. So, but it's not wine, but a Manhattan. If I'm out, I'll sip a little on Manhattan.
Okay.
Just a little taste.
And what is your favorite non-alcoholic?
Iced tea is my favorite. Iced tea and lemonade combination. Arnold Palmer.
Got you. All right. Favorite TV show? Now, I say black TV show, but
Black
TV show.
TV
show and TV show.
My favorite TV show is Suits. Suits. That was my favorite TV show. My favorite black African American TV show probably would be Martin. And I'm a little younger, but
That worked. You know, sort of young, the Asian. We
Yeah.
get that. Your favorite singer?
Nina Simone. Nina Simone.
You
Oof.
mentioned her. Yes, you did.
Hmm.
Your favorite car?
My favorite car. That's a tough one because I really love the Tesla Model X. That's it right now. Tesla Model X.
Okay. Favorite state?
It's not a state, but can I say DC? Yeah, I mean, I know it's not a state, but yeah,
Sure.
Washington DC.
You can say, oh, that's fine. That's fine. Your favorite vacation spot?
Australia was my favorite. Australia was my favorite.
Oh, you were able to go to Australia.
Yeah, man, I'm blessed. That's why I'm blessed. So
Okay.
yeah.
Australia. And
Hmm.
your favorite singer?
Nina Simone,
I'll give you one
number
more.
one.
There's two more, but I'm gonna take that one question out because
What is
I'll tell you what it is.
okay?
Your favorite song?
My favorite song.
Yes.
I Won by Future and Kanye West. My favorite song.
Okay. So we're gonna put that last question in tonight. I usually put it in for everybody, and even a couple of pastors have answered this question.
All right, what is it?
Your favorite romantic position? Your favorite romantic position? Word it differently for everybody.
I'd say it missionary because it's I love yeah. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me why. Well, you can leave it where it is. And with that answer, man, Nicholas Lee, you have just gotten yourself back out of the love zone and back into the regular phase of the show, man. Listen, man. This has been a wonderful scenario, man. We've had
Thank
some hiccups, but we worked them out.
you. Hmm.
After Dark with Shawn Cornelius, have loved having Nicholas Lee on, man. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
brother
for
Shawn.
coming, man.
I appreciate you. Literally, I appreciate you. And I appreciate your story and your platform. I mean, you're an inspiration to me as well. So I really appreciate you. Thank you. I'm honored.
Thank you so much, man. We really can have, and we're gonna have you back anytime that you're available. Come back. We'll do another one, and we'll bring back
Definitely.
cool people or whatever. Or maybe I might bring that whole Tuesday night crew on one time and have
That'll be great.
and have a
That'll be
wild
great.
show. That'll be wild. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. And just hang on for a second. Don't go nowhere, right?
All right.
We thank you so much for tuning in to After Dark with Shawn Cornelius here on BronxNet TV and BronxNet.org. You know I'm here Monday nights, 10:30. All you got to do is tune in and catch us, and I appreciate it. As I always say in parting, please go with God in your heart. Have a peace of mind. Have a wonderful, wonderful tomorrow. And with my angels always watching over my mom and dad. God bless you. Good night. Nicholas Lee, thank you so much.
Thank
brother.
you so much, brother Sean. Appreciate you.
You got it, brother. Take care.
All right. Take care.